Hey there, Nation, and welcome to the show where we help you to play miniatures wargaming on a budget. It is I, Commander Cheapskate, and we are back with another episode of Into the Darkness. Into Darkness is a series that is dedicated to our studios, Snarling Badger Studios, Space Station Zero Battle Reports, and this is Battle Report number 13. This is a Shuttle Bay challenge, which is challenge number 16 in the solo play campaign of Space Station Zero. This campaign features my shipping crew, Thundrik's Profiteers, which is the crew of the Skyfarer, as we battle our way through the depths of Space Station Zero to unravel its mysteries. So now we're on challenge number 13, which is challenge 16, which is the Shuttle Bay. In this scenario, I will have to fight a spaceship. Unfortunately, I don't have a spaceship miniature, but I do have a Sentinel miniature, so that'll be good enough for me. And my crew has to survive being stuck in this shuttle bay with no way out except to fight this space station that has now gone online. I have to fight this spaceship and try to survive it. So that being said, ladies and gentlemen, play some background music real quick. As the music is playing, we'll talk about the scenario rules, and we'll also show you the roster for Thundrik's Profiteers. And then we'll get this battle report on the roll. So with that being said, let's get it started. Challenge number 16, Shuttle Bay. The bay is as tall as it is long. The reason why is obvious upon first glance. You made your way to a shuttle bay on the edge of the space station. There's only one ship docked, a sleek craft of a design you don't recognize. As you begin your exploration of the bay, you hear the exit control panel activate and the door closes. The lights in the shuttle bay burst light and an array of weapons lock on your position. So on this one's pretty simple. There is not really much terrain on the battlefield so much as you have to deal with a spaceship. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a spaceship miniature in my studio's collection, so because I am using just a normal Imperial Sentinel Walker is pretty much what I'm using from Warhammer 40k to represent the ship, which pretty much kind of does the same kind of thing, all things considered. Now, the warship is considered alien technology, and it basically has two sets of stats depending on whether you're playing solo play or co-op play. But since I'm doing solo play on this one, these are the characteristics it has. It has 25 life, 0 movement, 7 combat, 3 reaction, as well as 3 intelligence. It also comes with armor 6, and during one of its turns, it will fire one of several weapons, just kind of goes in order, firing every single turn. The first one is scatter lasers, which means that each one picks 3 crew members that are closest to it, and they must make reaction save 5. If they fail, they suffer 2 damage. The next weapon is a plasma cannon, which is an energy weapon, range attack with 4+ to its combat score. It then has a fragmentation warhead, which is a kinetic range weapon at as 1 combat, and if the target of this combat challenge test attack is damaged, then all crew members in 6 inches must make a reaction save equal to the damage inflicted. If they fail, they suffer damage equal to the amount at which they failed the test. And then lastly is a special ability known as Hull Shock. It says in each turn, the first time the warship is attacked with a close weapon, it activates its Hull Shock. All crew members in 3 inches of the warship must take a reaction save 5. If they fail, they suffer damage equal to the amount by which they fail the test and are pushed 3 inches away from the warship. Now at the same time though, I can hack the warship. This is the warship's computer can be hacked into and some of its systems taken offline. Crew members within 1 inch of the warship may make an intelligence challenge test of 8 on a 6+. Each time this test is successful, you may choose one of the following options. Either weapons offline, you choose one of the warship's weapons. That weapon is now offline and may no longer be used by the warship. It is utilized a different weapon during its activation it has under its equipment. You have armor down, which means that the ablative armor of the warship can now be surpassed. The armor of the warship is now reduced to 3 instead of its normal 6. And targeting systems. The targeting system for the weapons can be taken offline, and removing this auto tracking and targeting abilities, the warship's combat is now reduced to half of what it normally was. Now, if I do manage to survive this scenario, my reward for this one is I gain a knowledge shard, which I'll read about on page 115 on number 6 for that one. And the challenge is pretty simple on this one. I end this challenge by taking the warship out of action, and once this happens, I move on for the rest of the scenarios. So the scenario rules over with. Give you guys a couple seconds to take a look at my roster for Thundrik's Profiteers. Alright, so we're back. So I do have my work cut out for me on this one, so let's go ahead and talk about my crew real quick. So up in the front, that is Bjorgen Thundrik. That is my commander. Behind him is Deadeye Lund, my medical officer. We have Kazgan Draxskewer, my soldier. In the back is Enric Ironhelm, my engineer, as well as Garrod Allenson, my pilot. And this Ambot represents the guard drone I was able to get for my last scenario. This is the Shipbreaker, and it's been equipped with an energy missile weapon. Now I do have my work cut out for me on this one because the spaceship does have 25 life. It also has 0 movement, so that's the nice part, can't move. But it has 7 combat, 3 reaction, and 3 intelligence. It's got a plethora of weapons that I'll be using every single turn. It's got, what does it have? It's got a scatter laser, it's got a fragmentation warhead, It's got a hull shock special ability. It's got plasma cannons, all kinds of stuff. Now I can of course try to fight if I can and try to hack it. To represent that can be hackable, I do have a little computer terminal right here, a little wall right there that we'll use as the ship's computer terminal, so that way my guys, if they give it an inch of it, they can take an intelligence check and start weakening its armor defenses as well as its targeting systems or its weapons. So I do have my work cut out for me. Luckily for me though, I do have a pretty elite crew with some pretty good life, so we'll see exactly how that pans out. So with that being said, let's get this battle report on a roll. We'll be right back after my turn 1 activations. Alright, so this is all my activations after turn number 1. Things are not looking very good right now for my crew. First of all, I did manage to put 8 successful intelligence checks on the computer, so because we did weaken his armor by half, so it made it a little bit easier to wound. However though, it took 3 of my crew members, Gellert, Allenson, Bjorndrik, Thundrik, as well as Deadeye Lund, in order to make that activation happen. We did manage to put 2 wounds on it because of Kazgan, Draxskewer, as well as the Shipbreaker, but unfortunately that's all it basically did. So because of that, this thing is quite resilient. It's got 23 more life left. Still has good combat. It just fired its scatter lasers, so that part was pretty rough. So I put 2 wounds directly on Deadeye Lund as well as Bjorn and Thundrik. I originally put 2 wounds on Garrett Allenson, but because he was next to the Shipbreaker, I used the Shipbreaker's guard ability to transfer the damage onto it. So now I have crew members with 2 wounds apiece, so that part's pretty rough. So because of that, we're gonna go directly to the top of turn number 2, and once again I get to go first because I have initiative. Alright, so that takes us directly to the end of turn number 2. As you can see, a lot more damage has taken place. Unfortunately for me, Garrett Allison did take a plasma shot to the face, so because he did suffer 3 wounds, that part was kind of rough. However, I was able to successfully hack the computer once again and put additional tests on top of it as well. So because of that, now its next weapon, which is a kinetic fragmentation warhead, will not be able to use during the next turn because I decided to deactivate one of its weapons. Unfortunately for me, though, I wasn't able to do much damage onto it. It's still at 2 damage. I still got 23 more to go, but hopefully, because his weapon's offline now, I can focus more on combat. So that being said, we go directly to the top of turn number 3, and I get to activate first. Alright, so we're back at the top of turn number 3. In the end, I was able to heal 2 of my wounds for Bjork and Thundrik using Deadeye Lund in order to patch up my commander. At the same time, between Deadeye Lund as well as, between Eric Ironhell, Bjork and Thundrik as well as Garrett Allenson, managed to put 5 security checks on directly onto the terminal. So we got to put 3 more on the next turn if I want to take his weapons offline. Luckily for me, he wasn't able to shoot at all because the ship had his weapons offline. Managed to put 5 wounds directly on top of it, so that part is kind of nice. And that was a combination of shooting between the Shipbreaker as well as for Kazgan Draxskewer. So that being said, we go directly to the top of turn number 4, and I get to go first. Alright, so we're back to the end of turn number 4, and once again my crew managed to put some more hacks directly onto the computer and put 4 more by the end of the turn. At the same time, I drop its combat score from 7 down to 4 as well, so that part is actually absent. So its armor plating is down, it's the same thing with one of its attacks. Originally it was going to use a scatter laser, but another one of my hacks went through, so because of that we took away its ability to use that weapon, so I went to the plasma cannon. Managed to put 4 wounds directly on Garrett Allenson, which would have killed him, but then the Shipbreaker stepped in with the guard ability, took that damage on it instead, so that part was excellent. Now after the rest of the combat was all done, I managed to put 16 wounds directly onto this thing, so it's almost dead. Just gotta keep on putting some more damage directly into this thing. Hopefully I'll be able to take it offline. So with that being said, we go directly to the top of turn number 5, and I get to go first. Alright, so we're back with turn number 5. So the first thing that ended up happening, I activate Deadeye Lund. Deadeye Lund actually moved out directly towards the Shipbreaker and uses intelligence score as well as medical care skill in order to heal up all the way up 4 wounds, I believe, directly onto the Shipbreaker. So now he's got 2 wounds left on him. Now, I did manage to steal the initiative on this one, and this is where Kazgan Draxskewer became the MVP. He rolled to fire his ion heavy cannon directly into the ship. He rolled 9 successes, and unfortunately for the ship, it rolled like 2 1s. The 2 tests that it had 2 successes, 2 1s, but the cancel out. So because it took all 9 damage and blew that thing up with 1 shot. So that part was absolutely amazing. So now that we're done with this scenario, we're going to move on directly to the post game, and the reason why is because this battle report is now officially over.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Alright, so up next, let's go ahead and talk about exactly for the epilogue on this one. So, this is the part I'm supposed to read once I succeed. It says the ship's weapon systems go offline as you destroy the hull of the ship. Your moment of hope, however, is cut short when a chain reaction begins throughout the hull of the ship. The back of the ship cascades and a massive explosion rips open the side of the space station, exposing the cold emptiness of space. The air in the space station almost immediately goes drawn out of the void, threatening to take you all with it. As you come off your feet and start drifting, the shielding system of the station activates, sealing the room. Your entire crew crew slides down to protect their shield, staring out into the empty blackness of deep space into an unknown part of the space station below. In this situation, what ended up happening is I ended up going to the next challenge, which will be challenge number 17, which will be trash storage, will be the next challenge as well. At the same time, I also managed to pick up a knowledge shard, so let's go and talk about exactly what that does for me. So this is what it says for Challenge 16 for the Knowledge Shard. It reads, as you fall, one of the crew members sees another of the alien artifacts floating in the air next to them. Reaching out to grab it, they have a vision. The space station falls away. In its place, they see a beautiful alien landscape, a planet. The aliens themselves are tall and undefined, but there are no other alien species present on the planetscape. The planet is pristine. The sky is a brilliant magenta with shades of blue and 4 moons hanging in the evening sky. The technology of the world is beyond understanding, but what's notable is the pristine quality of everything around. There is not a piece of refuse within sight, no one looks ill, and no sadness. Strangely, there are not many of the aliens, even though the city looks built to hold millions of individuals. The vision moves to the center of the city. Once again, the crew member sees an overwhelmingly bright light, and the vision abruptly ends. And because of this knowledge shard, I get to choose one crew member, and I may increase any stat of that crew member by 1. And because of that takes us directly to the post game, so talk about exactly what happened to my crew. Alright, so now it's time for the post game. As you can see on this one, all my crew members gain additional experience point while my commander earned 2 additional experience point. Nobody leveled up at this point. However, though, for my knowledge shard, I decided to use that for Garrod Allinson. Garrod Allinson actually increased his combat score to 5 instead of 4. So my team is actually doing very well. I got at least 6 life for all my people, 7 for my commander, 8 for my new guard drone, the Shipbreaker. Almost everybody's at combat 5 at the base, with Kazgan Dracula being combat 7. My guard drone is only combat 4, but that's perfectly fine. I also got pretty decent reaction as well as intelligence stats. I got a good mix of equipment. So far, my crew is doing exceptionally well. I'm really excited to see exactly what we go on. We move on to our next scenario. So that's good for this week, guys. As always, please feel free to like, comment, and or subscribe. You guys' input is valuable to us as always. Also check us out on Facebook, Instagram, as well as blogger.com for all these greatest hobby news related to this channel. That's good for this one, you guys. I'll catch you guys next one. Peace out and stay classy. We'll be right back.